Hey everybody, it's me, it's TD, Terry is my name. And welcome to my channel, welcome back. And we all have our favorites that we collect, whether it's impulsive or whether it's emotional or whatever it is. We buy for a reason. And some of us take the plunge into more difficult and high maintenance type plants, and these are a few of mine that I collect, but I think you should have too. Better. So, I bet these are some that you haven't heard of, maybe you have, but if you have or haven't, consider them because they are all very special in their own way. Trust me. So I'll try to give you some care tips, the way that I grow them, their environment where they came from, so that it will help you master these plants if you choose to grow them. I hope you will. And let me know if you have grown these before. But let's start the show. Thanks. Okay, first off, in my collection is Parthenia majestic. Parthenia majestic is a primary hybrid between Parthenia cristata and herreri, which are two shaded tropical species that grow in lowland Amazon rainforest. They are particular floriferous and will bloom several times a year. This cross is between cristata, as I said, which has smaller flowers, 3 to 4 inches, and Parthenia herreri, which has 78. The blooms will be showy and of intermediate size, around 5 inches. They grow in a pendant fashion, as I am showing you some blasted spikes, unfortunately. They should be hung down, or they should be raised up so that the spike does not get impeded. You need to water frequently in hot months. When the media is nearly dry, do not allow the media to reach and stay dry. This is an intermediate to warm grower, likes high humidity, and needs to have a well-drained potting mix in order for the roots to not roots to not rot. So you need to be potted every spring, once a year. And it likes pretty much low to medium light, bright north, facing window or east. Is preferred and shielded from the direct sun, but low light. And you should be okay with this plant. It does not want to be waterlogged. Its roots waterlogged. It wants free drainage. Rooting might be more appropriate, but it is more difficult as well, meaning it needs that high humidity. And that is Parthenia majestic. And the next one here is Rodriguezia. Now, I have several Rodriguezias, and I collect them. I love them. This is a species that all of you should have. They are miniature. They are sort of an oncidium type. This one is Rodriguezia decora, which is in spike. And I have another matured growth that has another spike. It comes out from the base of the growth, a newly completed growth. And it's kind of hard to focus on with one hand, but it's in there. This plant produces small white with purple blotches. And I have a few more Parthenias. Not Parthenias. I have a few more Rodriguezias. I have some seedlings that I got that are potted up. I got those from Equigenera and Orchidea amazonica. These are native to the Amazons, if I didn't say. And I have a few that are mounted, some that bloomed earlier in the year for me. This is my lanceolata that bloomed. A synonym of Batmania. And then I have another decora, Rodriguezia decora, this one right here. And let's see if this one has spikes as well, or inflorescence. And looking around the plant at the maturing growths, Bam. There is a spike right there coming up from the base of that growth. I think kind of looks like it's on the outside. So it could be a new growth. But as far as that's concerned, that's the only one that I am seeing. But we'll pay attention to that. And then I have this one, which is Radrogetsia venusta, which bloomed beautifully white flowers. This one got a little bit too cold. They are a warm to intermediate temperature plant. And then I have this one down here, this seedling that I mounted up, and this one is Liana, Radrogetsia Liana. Yay. So that is still trying to get established. And the next group are Barkarias. Barkarias are a plant that has a peculiar growth. It puts up its new growths in the summer, like most. That is when you begin to water and fertilize it. During that time, it wants low exposure to sun. They don't want high sun, they want shade, but they like high humidity. This is one that bloomed last year, and you can see that it put up a few new growths from dead, dried up looking growths. In the winter, when this plant blooms, it likes drier, cooler conditions and more sun. So that's what this plant likes. It blooms from the current growths. That's last year's growth that I'm showing you. And you can see this is putting up a new growth, and there is a inflorescence beginning, which this plant is a sequential bloomer and can put out many, many flowers that are very fine and delicate and almost like crepe paper. Some have fragrance, some don't, but they're very, very delicate in pinks and white, and pink and white. And they stay fairly small, but they can get big when there is a big clump. And again, they do like to be free drained. They don't want their roots to be in a soggy mix. So mounting is definitely the way to go with these. Except you see I got that in a little mesh basket that has nothing but styrofoam peanuts. So this is the not the last one. Galliandra is a very special genus, one you should look for. I love it. It's hard to find these days. It is an epiphyte, grows in the spring from almost catasonite, dormant-looking bulbs that actually, when it loses its leaves, it can be deciduous, and it does bloom from the apex in a sequential or a successive fashion, one after the other, kind of a bug, not a bug. It's a very attractive flower. I can't describe it. I've had 2 of these species, and I really want more of them. That is the last one that has given me 2 flowers, and it's probably done. Doesn't look like there's any green left, but as long as it's green, it can still give me flowers. So I will continue to water this and fertilize until it stops or turns yellow or stops growing. And then I wait until it starts putting out roots again, and then that's when you water and fertilize again. And it should begin to give you some blooms from the very top. Very pleasing, fragrant flower. Now this, last but not least, is a flower that is a favorite bucket list plant. This is Aria javanica. All Arias are beautiful. This is the Java Aria, and this is from all over parts of Asia, but mostly in Indochine and Malaysia. So I mounted this. I had one other big one, and I got this one recently, and I got this from Amazonica, and it is giving me spikes. I've had this mounted about 4 months, and it still hasn't put out any roots, but it did come with sheaths. So I can't take credit, but I can. They are fragrant star-shaped flowers that can be erect, the spikes, or pendant, depending on the number of flowers that are opposite along the inflorescence. They bloom generally in the fall to winter,